That is one of the more special defenses that I have watched in a long time. And I am talking about the 2024-25 Oklahoma City Thunder, who are now in the NBA Finals after beating the Minnesota Timberwolves. Excuse me, let me correct myself. After beating the absolute shit out of the Minnesota Timberwolves, 124-94, in a game that was pretty much over at the end of the first quarter. And I'm going to try to keep this quick, but I have a few thoughts just now coming off of the game, which just ended. They haven't presented the Western Conference Finals trophy yet, or the Western Conference Finals MVP, which I assume is going to be Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. But just an incredible, special performance from one of the best defenses of all time, if they can, cap it off with a championship. It's just incredible the types of stretches they can go on. Like, I was thinking the 2015-16 Warriors, or any Warriors team from that era, really, but that one specifically, just because the combination of their defense along with their devastating offense being fueled off of that just made them really ridiculous to guard. And obviously they won 73 games because Steph was incredible, etc. The 2012-13 Heat, for stretches in playoff games, you just knew that there was a 2 to 3 minute stretch where the other team was just not going to score because LeBron is everywhere, Dwayne Wade is blocking shots off the weak side, Chris Bosh being really solid and good in his role as a, early pseudo small ball 5/tweener 4. The Pistons in 04, any of the San Antonio defenses, this Oklahoma City team is just special on that end of the floor. And they flustered the Timberwolves all night with their length, their physicality, their athleticism. They just looked absolutely swarming. 14 steals, 8 blocks. Every time Julius Randle and Naz Reid even dribbled more than once, Alex Caruso and Cason Wallace were there to just poke the ball loose. Lou Dort was coming from the other side of the court to fuck things up on a drive. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander playing the passing lanes. Jalen Williams just being a physical bulldog on the block. And man, how important is Jalen Williams to this Oklahoma City Thunder team? The fact that he is 6'6" and can guard power forwards and, guard up a little bit, really crucial to them. And then on top of that, if you somehow, some way get past the wave of defenders of Caruso, Dort, Jalen Williams, Cason Wallace, you somehow have to try to finish around Isaiah Hartenstein, who's built like a brick shithouse, or the long, lanky arms of the Slenderman himself, Chet Holmgren, at the rim. They just come at you in waves. And not only that, they have 12 players that they can deploy at any time. Some of them might not even play much. But then you have guys like Kenrich Williams, who has shown throughout his time in Oklahoma City to be an effective role player, do his job. And I know that sounds cliche, but be a 6'7" forward that can hit spot-up threes, dive on the floor for loose balls, defend multiple positions. They just have guys like that littered all over the roster. And it's all headed by Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. And I just cannot express enough. I guess I've kind of just turned into somebody who's rooting for OKC to win because, one, I think they have been a cool watch all year. Also, you guys know that I'm a Sixer fan, and I have said multiple times on this channel that this Thunder team just makes me envious of what it could have been if Adam Silver effectively didn't force Sam Hinkie out of Philadelphia, thus effectively cutting the process short and not letting him see it through. The Thunder rebuilt, did what they were supposed to do, take on contracts for draft capital. They found their superstar with SGA. The only difference is between the Thunder and the Sixers, SGA played. Joel Embiid didn't play. And then you keep drafting well, and that's really also the difference. Sam Presti just knows how to draft, where Sam Hinkie, had a few misses in there, Okafor being, the biggest glaring one. But regardless, anyway, back to OKC. Sorry, I had to do that for a second. I just really want this team to win because it just feels like, and I can say this for certain now since it's now hit the media sphere and the national broadcast, just the wave of, skepticism, which is fine. You could be skeptical of a young team, but the free throw merchant stuff, the crying about how physical the Thunder's defense is, really the free throw merchant stuff with Shea, and I made a video about it, how I just think it's dead wrong to call him a free throw merchant, and I will stand on that. And I tell you this as someone who has had two of the greatest grifters of all time on his team at the same time. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander wishes he could be the level of grifter. He wishes he could be 2 tiers below the grifter that Embiid and James Harden can get to, right? And I usually think the grifter stuff is overblown anyway. But this dude is great. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is flat out one of the best guards in NBA history already, leading his team to a finals appearance. 34 points, 8 assists, 7 rebounds on, guess what? 4 free throws. And the usual negative discourse that comes with that, and the fact that it's trying to replace real basketball conversations, which it shouldn't. Shai's game is not built around free throws as much as people want to try to say that it does. It does not. It stems from his ability to drive to the basket. He has been the preeminent drive guy for the last 5 years now, the preeminent points in the paint guy, and has gotten way better as a playmaker. His playmaking these last handful of games, especially since, Game 3 of the Denver series, like today he dissected the Timberwolves defense. And it also really showed that there are really levels to this shit, and SGA is about a few levels higher than Anthony Edwards, who is still learning, by the way, and I love Anthony Edwards very much. But you could see that Anthony Edwards, still 23, still has a ways to go. Also, the Timberwolves do need to make some roster decisions because bad Julius Randle came back the last few games, especially, last game where I just thought he gave up on the team, really, once he realized it wasn't going his way. And, some of that is the frustration of being guarded by this OKC team. I get it. But Mike Conley is not who he used to be. You're going to have to get some extra playmaking on that team to take the pressure off Ant. And OKC loaded up on him. They made sure 2 guys were in his vicinity at all times with an extra guy waiting in the paint, sagging off of Jaden McDaniels, sagging off of Julius Randle, and it just made things difficult. This OKC team is special, man. And shout out to Jalen Williams too, by the way, who also faced his fair share of criticism. Can he be a legit number 2? Let me tell you this, I'm sure the Giannis talks are put to rest now. Jalen Williams was fantastic in these Western Conference Finals. So was Chet Holmgren. Just the way this OKC team is built, how they're built to last in the second apron era with all these picks that they have to replace outgoing talent in the future. Just nothing short of a spectacular job done by Sam Presti. When the Celtics and the Cavs got eliminated, to me, that was just the clear pathway for OKC to be the favorites to win it all. And though I did pick the Pacers to beat the Knicks in 5, no matter who comes out of that series, if the Knicks, on the slim chance they come back, the Thunder are the favorite to me. I got the Thunder winning it all. This team is special. They're not only just special, they're not just special, they have young talent, they're super young, and they have a special player leading them with a special organization at the forefront. And yeah, this was just a dominant series from the Thunder. They got their ass beat in Game 3, but Game 4 comes around. The Timberwolves somehow lead almost every category in that game, including the big one, turnovers, but also the Thunder got a bunch of offensive rebounds. They find ways to win games, and throughout these playoffs, the Thunder have just grown up before our eyes. Being down 2-1 against the Nuggets, by the way, with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander leaving the court smiling after that game. which of course sparked a whole bunch of people, including in the media, calling Shai Gilgeous-Alexander corny, which I don't get. If I'm a fan of a team where my superstar is relaxed after losing a big game 3 when I'm in shambles, I would have much more confidence in my star player. But nope, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander got the whole corny thing that for some reason rolls with this Oklahoma City Thunder team. But Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and the Thunder have answered the bell every time. Jalen Williams didn't have a good series in that Denver series. But what did he do in Game 7? And what has he done since then? He has absolutely shown that he can be a number 2 on a championship team. They're in the finals right now. But I think that should be the scary thing for the NBA. This team is still the youngest team in the NBA, I'm pretty sure. I have to double check. Yeah, this team is special, man. One of the best defenses I have seen. Shai is etching himself as one of the best guards in NBA history, and he is fun to watch, and this team is fun to watch. And you know, not to further poo-poo the point, but boy, I'm sure glad I'm not one of those people that lets 4 to 5 or even 6 possessions of a basketball game where someone is flopping or grifting affect my overall enjoyment and viewing experience watching Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and the Thunder. Couldn't be me. This team is absolutely fun to watch. And Shai is one of the smoothest players I have watched. And I can't wait to see what he does in these finals. I actually can't wait for this finals matchup. I think Thunder Pacers is going to be a pretty good series. Obviously, I'm picking the Thunder to win no matter who comes out of the Eastern Conference Finals. But yeah, this team's special, man.